Thank you for tuning into this week's episode of the Paperback Club podcast. My name is Aliyes Richard. With me, as always, my good friend Richard Knox here.
Heyo.
Today, we are talking about video games, some of our favorite franchises we've experienced, and a couple of games we are heavily or highly anticipatedly waiting for.
High anticipatedly.
Yeah, because I know we just had the PS5 reveal stream not too long ago.
Mm-hmm.
A couple of games from that stream I'm very excited about, as well as a couple of other ones that are not specific to PS4.
Yeah, so question of the week, what is your favorite video game franchise?
Of all time.
So starting off, what is yours?
Well, I had to give it a lot of thought because I don't... It's not like super clear for me because, I mean, there's a lot of different games and genres. But I think I might have to say Kingdom Hearts.
Kingdom Hearts. That's a pretty good one to have too.
Yeah, and that's not saying like that's like the best game out there. Again, it's just, you know, like my personal favorite, like the best kind of memories, gameplay experience, stuff like that. I had a lot of fun with Kingdom Hearts 2. I probably put the most amount of time into that game, debatably more than any game I've ever played before.
Yeah, I didn't play the newest one, but I did play
the
first two, and they're classic. They're really good. My favorite. It's really tough to pick between two.
Yeah, it was hard to just pick
two.
that one.
But one will probably definitely be the Elder Scrolls games.
Mm-hmm.
I dabbled a little bit with the Elder Scrolls Online, but I just couldn't really get into it. But I played Morrowind, Oblivion, Skyrim, and I'm like super pumped whenever they decide to come out with Elder Scrolls 6.
Yeah, I tried playing Skyrim one time, and I don't know if I just couldn't get into it or if something else happened, but I never passed like escaping the first, you know, the very first like level. They're not levels, but you know.
Yeah.
Thing.
And they are tough. It's the same with Bethesda also it makes the Elder Scrolls, but they also have another one called Fallout, and it's a very similar play style, objective based game. It's just, you know, basically different themes where Skyrim's in a whole nother world where it makes it seem almost like ancient times. Your axes, spells.
Do they do Fallout, or is that different?
Yeah, they also do Fallout. And Fallout's like nuclear post-apocalyptic world.
Bethesda's
like
a great
nuclear Fallout
game development company.
Yeah,
They
and
have a lot of
Fallout
good
was
stuff.
really fun too. But other than those two, I would have to say probably God of War.
Yeah, that's a solid one. I think the newest God of War is the first one I've ever played.
Oh yeah.
Unfortunately, I did not finish it all the way through, but I think I got like maybe halfway. But what I did play, it was super fun.
Yeah, I enjoyed it, especially because where they left the third one off, it basically completed the story. Like you didn't need to know anything else. Like it was over.
Yeah.
And that came out 10 years ago probably. So coming out with this one, and the style of gameplay is tweaked, so I really like the way they did that, because, you know, you're getting nervous where, you know, obviously they could still use the same exact play style they've always used, which was very effective, but they're like, you know, let's try to upgrade it, make it up, make it better. So the play style is a little bit different, but like all the basic stuff is still the same. So I just love the concept of it.
Yeah. And then another one that I really liked, and also I'm excited for the sequel, is Horizon Zero Dawn. That is a PS4 exclusive. I forget why I had it. I don't think I got it because like the trailer looked good. I want to say like someone let me borrow it, and all it took was 10 minutes of playing it, and that was probably like one of my top 5 favorite games of all time. Between like the plot of the game, the action of it, the graphics, like everything about it was just super good. I really, really, really enjoyed it. And then for those of you who saw the PS5 live stream, if you made it that far towards the end of it, I got super excited when they announced the second one, which is very exciting. So I was thinking, if I do get a PS5, it will be mainly for that reason, among others. That'll be a big, big selling factor for myself.
When you get a PS5. Horizon Zero Dawn, they also make Monster Hunter World.
Yes, they do, because at one point Monster Hunter World did a collaboration where you could play as the character from Horizon Zero Dawn.
Oh, okay.
On Monster Hunter.
Okay.
So yeah, they do.
That's still pretty cool.
Yeah, and that was a pretty fun one. That one I only started playing because at the time Destiny 2 had kind of died down, and that came out, and it was very similar in nature to the looting aspect of Destiny. Not so much the action, of course, because, you know, Destiny is the first-person shooter. But Destiny is also another one of my favorite franchises.
As soon as you said, I was like, dang, how did I forget Destiny?
I mean,
obviously,
I fell off the wagon pretty hard
when it came to Destiny 2. I played the first, I think, 1 or 2 expansions for it. And then I fell off, but the first one in my brain was like in my head, in my soul was
the Destiny one
revolutionary.
or the first expansion.
The first Destiny.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Because I remember I was at the time I was really bored. I was playing this free game on PlayStation called Warframe.
Yeah.
And I just that's all I was spamming. I was playing Warframe 24/7. And then I heard about this game Destiny, so I signed up for the alpha.
Yeah.
And it was really the very first part of the game, and that's it. It was like one mission.
Yeah.
And so I would play that one mission
over
and over. So eventually the beta came out, and then I think it was like the first couple missions. And was there a multiplayer on the beta too? There was like one.
So I didn't play the alpha, but I did play the beta. The beta had the moon map.
Yes.
Yeah.
So they had a lot more to offer. So then that's all I was playing until the game came out, and I liked it so much that I remember getting my brother into it, right? And being like, hey, you should play this game. He played it, and we would switch back and forth to the point where we just said, screw it. We went and got a whole nother TV, a whole nother PlayStation, a whole nother Destiny, so we could literally play together, which was
great,
wonderful. Because before, I mean, we enjoyed it already, right? But then being able to say, hey, I have a partner who's literally going to be right next to me playing this game at the same time.
Communication.
Oh yeah, we were pretty nasty on Destiny.
Yeah, I would say Destiny is among, again, my favorite of all time. It's very difficult to narrow it down to one singular because like different franchises and different games bring up so many different memories from actual gameplay to like I forget the word, but like when you like connect two things, like, and when I think of Kingdom Hearts, I think of my friend David, because we would stay up, 3 a.m. trying to fight Sephiroth, and if you play that game, Sephiroth was like, that
was that the
tough.
blonde-haired guy with the black cloak?
So that's Cloud. That's Cloud. Forgive my Final Fantasy lack of knowledge. I think Cloud's like brother or whatever is Sephiroth. He's the one who has that 65-inch sword or 65 foot sword.
I know who Cloud is.
Okay, then maybe.
What color is Sephiroth's hair?
It's like gray silver. Yeah. So it's
but
not
does he have like a black long cloak thing he wears?
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah, but then he has like a 65-foot sword. Insane. But he was like one of the, if not the most difficult opponents in Kingdom Hearts 2. But that one was wicked fun. Like we would spend hours and hours trying to like learn it, because like his battle style was like very similar all the way through. It would be like at one point we had it exactly mapped out. It'd be like, okay, attack, dodge, spell, attack, dodge. Like it was very specific.
So this is the way to get through it.
Yeah, and eventually we did, and that was a very proud moment.
There's a lot of games like that too. I know we God of War, the new one. Whenever even the old one too. I mean, there's like specific. Like it's like a chart where the enemy is going to do these specific moves and what
every
to do.
so often.
So in God of War, it's like a lot like that, where it's like, okay, well, I know this move's coming up, and I know this is what happens after that move, so I know where if I need to dodge or if I need to jump or block, parry, whatever you need to do to win. We just recently started playing God of War again to play through it again, and wow, again, and just starting it back up was very difficult. I'm like, how the hell did I play this?
Yeah, no.
There's so many enemies. They're so hard. I can't do nothing.
Yeah, no, I was playing on not the lowest level, but like the next one up. And I was, I would play it for a few weeks or months, or it must have been weeks, because I probably would have beat it in months. I play it for a few days or weeks, and then I'll fall off for a little while, and then I'll come back and have to like relearn all the abilities and stuff. But God of War was pretty fun.
Well, I'm waiting for the next God of War, because they left it open.
Yeah,
they're like, hey, there is obviously going to be more to do, especially seeing how the first 3 were mapped out and how they went about progressing through that story. Now that's a different story.
Now he's a kid or something, right?
Well, now he has a kid, and he's very, very older. And spoiler alert, if you haven't played it, he went from the Greek gods and going through and annihilating all of them to now he's like in like Norwegian type gods. I should say Norwegian, like Thor and Odin and everything. So now he's moved on to a different type of mythology, and he's going to go through, and I'm assuming once the other games come out, they're all going to be after him.
True, and that's a pretty fun one. But back to Destiny for a second. That connecting Destiny in my head, I'm thinking like Balls of Glass. Like raids were cheesing. Yes, raids were some of like the most like the pinnacle and pivotal moments of Destiny.
I don't know many first person shooters that ever came out to do that style either, where they have raids and dungeons, basically dungeons, weeklies to do, where it'll take a mission and make it harder. So that was a really cool.
Yeah, it was like a perfect combination of Call of Duty and like Assassin's Creed or something like that. I mean, not in terms of like gameplay, obviously, but like Call of Duty in the first person aspect, and like Assassin's Creed in terms of like story and like plots and challenge. Yeah.
You know, because they have skills you can level up, different trees you can go into if you prefer something. There's so much customizability.
Yeah, there's a lot into it, and I know a lot of people have their gripes with Destiny 2. I played it relatively religiously up until a few months ago. But what I would do is I would play until either I've done everything or I've like burnt out, take a few weeks or months off, and then when I'm back, like I always go back. There's actually a new expansion coming this September, which I'm very excited to get back into. But what are some of the games that you're playing right now? I know you just mentioned God of War.
Yes, we started playing God of War. We were playing a ton of Call of Duty, Modern Warfare.
Yeah, I played Season 3 a lot. I haven't touched 4.
Yeah, almost
Took
exclusively Call of Duty at the moment. But I was really big into Overwatch when that came out. I'm a big fighting game guy.
Yeah.
So Mortal Kombat. I love Mortal Kombat. That's in my top franchises too.
Yeah, they're solid.
I own like almost all of them.
Yeah,
and this last one has been
top notch. Yeah, I think I like fighting games, but I don't play them. Like I'm a first person shooter kind of guy. That's my go to. But Mortal Kombat is my preferred fighting. There's like Soul Calibur.
The Street Fighter.
I mean, they're okay. I just much prefer Mortal Kombat.
Injustice. I loved Injustice also, but it's made by the same people.
Was
NetherRealm Studios?
Was it Injustice or another game where it was like DC versus Capcom or something like that?
There is Marvel versus Capcom.
Okay,
that's what it is. And then Injustice is strictly
Justice League and whatnot.
Yeah, DC. But then also, I know in the first couple, there's only 2. They've added in other people, some from the Mortal Kombat world, which is really cool. But I love DC right over behind the light, so they have like all my Batman pops. So surprisingly enough, I hated playing with Batman in the game. Like he's a grappler, and I just can't play that style.
Over here.
My favorite in Injustice was playing as Robin, who was Damian Wayne, Batman's son in this one, and he had a sword. Ooh, I killed it.
I had to stick with Flash. I mean,
he's so good too.
Yeah,
it's like
he's not like the best. I mean, I like playing with Flash just because I like the Flash. But I think
the first one he was OP. Like
the second one they kind of balanced him out. I feel like, but in that game I think my go-to was actually Aquaman.
Oh yeah, he was good with that.
Solid
with his Triton. You get so far away.
Yeah, in any fighting game, once you get those combos down, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, what I liked about Injustice 2 also is that they made it to where there was like armors you can get.
Yeah, I never got into that, but I saw your
sets,
account.
And everything, cool. And they help with stats and everything. So I thought that was a good addition. Are there any old school games that you were really into when you were a lot younger? Besides Pokemon? Everyone was into Pokemon.
Right. Would you count Spyro as old?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
1,000%.
Yeah. Okay, when Spyro...
Came out in the 90s, pretty sure.
Yeah, so that would be my go-to older. That or like Metroid.
Even older.
Yeah. Me and my mom would play Spyro religiously when I was in elementary school, I believe, because we lived in Pendleton. And like after I get home, like I do my homework, whatever, and then we play Spyro from the time I finish my homework until like dinner or like bedtime. And I would do a level, she would do a level. That would be like our bonding experience and whatnot. And I remember, I forget which Spyro it was, but we played one, and she wouldn't play without me, and vice versa. So we were always on the same page and same team. And one of the games we got to, I want to say the final boss, the very last boss that we had been waiting and anxiously working towards. And then I had some friends from the neighborhood come over, and they erased our memory card.
Ooh, death.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen them ever since. And me and my mom still joke about that. They're like, she just tagged me on a Facebook post not too long ago regarding it, and she's like, "Remember those neighbor kids who took our memory cards?" And that's another thing, memory cards.
Yeah, I don't miss memory cards, but also I'm thinking now like Call of Duty on the PlayStation
like
takes
200 gigabytes or something.
Yeah, a dumb amount. Yeah. And there's like this weird thing with it where whenever you're downloading like these patches and updates for it, if you don't have like the size of the game and some free on it, it won't allow you to download it.
Which is ridiculous.
Yeah, which is really ridiculous because I will still have like 80 gigabytes, and if it wasn't the size of the game and then some, it wouldn't be enough. I wouldn't be able to download it. So I'm like,
yeah, that's weird.
I just to play Call of Duty. Well, also we got the digital version,
Mm-hmm.
so I'm sure if we had the disc, it would save a lot more room.
Yeah.
But
So advantages there.
yeah, true.
That's another topic.
But I had to delete a lot of games, which is like the memory's still saved and everything,
Yeah,
unless
yeah.
I delete that as well. But a lot of it's still hooked up to my account somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to take all these games off the PlayStation just to play Call of Duty, and the one I left on there was Borderlands 3. So I was like, I love me some Borderlands.
Yeah, I had a funny story with that. So, I have I play PC now. I played every console, but my go-to right now is PC. And Borderlands is, at least on PC, you have to load it from, I want to say Epic Games, maybe, maybe not. I forget exactly. But I have the launcher for Borderlands 2, and I had it in my account, whatever, and then Marley's brother came over one time and he said, "Hey, can I play in your PC?" I said, "Yeah, sure, no problem. Just log me out, sign into yours." So he signs into his. A couple of days go by, and Borderlands 3 comes out. I'm like, "Okay, cool. I got nothing else going on. I'll pick it up and play because I enjoy the first one. I didn't play the second one, but I played the first one.
Second one was good.
Again,
I didn't
religiously.
like the pre-sequel.
Yeah, I never got into any of those. So I went to go buy the Borderlands 3 on my account, and I buy it, and then it updates, and then it did this thing where like when it updated, I had to sign out and sign back in. So I signed in, no Borderlands. I'm like, I just bought it. I have the receipt. So I'm like, what's going on? And then it took me a few like hours to like realize what happened. Just like over my head, I was like, I wouldn't assign it on my account. So why is it not on my account? So I signed back into his, and it's on his account. I bought it on his account with my card, so I didn't use his mom's money. But I thought that was hilarious. And then I tried playing it, and for the life of me, I cannot figure it out. Every time I start it, it freezes. I've uninstalled, reinstalled. I've done everything I know how to, and it just doesn't work.
Yeah, that's super strange.
Super strange.
And it's really sad because it's also a really good game. So I bought the big edition that came with all the expansions, and I've only played the first expansion.
Was that Halloween one, or that was just the event?
No, that was the event.
Okay.
And that Halloween event was so good.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah, Borderlands is big on Cameron's box. I wish he was here to talk about it. But yeah, now that I think about it, Kingdom Hearts was great, but also Destiny. Like Destiny is, and a lot of people shit on it. I mean, I understand where they're coming from, but just because you don't like something doesn't mean it's not a great game in some senses. And for me, that's like the one I can always go back to. Like, I've probably invested. Well, actually, there's a website, I think DestinyTracker.com, where you can like find your account, and it will tell you every aspect of everything you've ever done in terms of like how much time you've put into the game, as well as how much time you spent in orbit. And like it'll
how many
like
times I
combine it
left
sometimes.
it on? It's just in orbit.
Right. And now last time I checked,
there's still a ship out there in orbit to this day, just floating around.
Right. I haven't checked in quite a while because the game kind of stopped progressing after 17. But last I remember checking, I had put in at least like 4,000 hours into that game.
God almighty.
Which, if you put that into like days, I think it's like 3 months or some shit like that.
I don't want to know mine. I do not want to know mine.
Right, it's a lot. So
yeah, one old school game that I was really into was Donkey Kong.
Yeah.
I actually have a
Mario's good too.
I have a Super Nintendo behind me with all these games. Let me see. Here's Donkey Kong Country 3. Me and my dad used to play the crap out of these games. That's Donkey Kong Country 2. I got more in here.
Yeah, in terms of that.
Mortal Kombat 2.
Yeah.
Boy, the fighting edition of Power Rangers. What else I got? That was a good one. The Power Rangers. Super Mario World.
Yeah, Super Mario was good.
There we go. Regular Donkey Kong Country. And The Lion King. Gotta have a variety. But Donkey Kong, oh my God. Would always play with Donkey Kong.
So Marley just did the math. That 4,000 hours I said, it was 5 months.
5 months.
And a half.
And a half of a
just
month.
5 months of your life playing one video game?
Let's make it a year.
All right.
Good year spent.
I think it's and that's just with one game. Just imagine, I've been playing games. I mean, as early as I can even remember.
True.
So if we were to add that up, I've probably spent several years of my life.
I remember having the original
games.
Nintendo. We were a big Nintendo family until PlayStation came out, and then PlayStation. Well, we had a Wii, but I never had a GameCube.
Actually, I never had a GameCube either. I never owned a Wii. My sister had a Wii. I've had every PlayStation and every Xbox, not including the Vita. I had a PSP, but not the Vita.
Yeah, I've had both. I still have the Vita.
Yeah.
It's somewhere around this room. But speaking of the Vita, I thought it was gonna be a lot cooler than what it was.
Oh, totally. Yeah, no, me too. Those the discs were big and clunky, and the buttons kept. I think one of the joysticks kept breaking on me, or it was something weird. It just wasn't as good as like. I think they were aiming to be a
that's
Switch.
right. The PSP did have those weird square discs. It was a
Mm-hmm.
disc inside of like a cartridge.
Yeah.
Right.
It was weird. I mean, it was a cool idea.
It was weird.
And I think they were aiming for, I guess, like kind of like what the Switch is now.
Yeah.
It's just,
Well,
Nintendo did a great job with it.
Was definitely weird about the Vita is they were really pushing out the remote play.
Yeah.
They're like, hey, guess what? You can use the Vita as a controller, and let's say you got to go take a dookie.
Yeah.
Right? Just get up and go take a dookie while still playing your game.
Right.
But there was things about it I didn't quite like. Like, it didn't have triggers.
Yeah.
No L2, R2. It had a touchpad on the back, and the screen was touchscreen.
Mm-hmm.
You know how weird it is trying to do your ultimate in Destiny 2 with that controller? I was like, okay, so this is going to be remote play. Typically what will work best is like Rocket League.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was one thing I thought they missed hard on, was making it more like a controller with a screen instead of a screen with buttons.
Yeah. But I mean, with technology now, who knows?
Well, I saw, and this might have been a rumor or like Boss Logic Photoshop, but I saw the new Xbox is going to be the Series X, right?
Yeah.
And then I saw a handheld one that could have
Series
been
Y.
the Y.
Yeah,
That would look like a controller with a screen on it. I'm like, that's what it needed to be.
True.
This whole time.
That'd be kind of cool. But also, I probably wouldn't ever use anything like that. I mean, probably not.
No, probably not either. But I mean, it makes sense. Like, well, in this sense, with the PS Vita, your games didn't transfer to the Vita, right?
Right.
So, like, let's say I was playing Destiny, the disc had to be in the PlayStation, playing it that way, instead of just saying, "Hey, all the games I downloaded on the PlayStation are also for my Vita,"
right?
Because that's not the case, and there was a lot of games that weren't compatible with the Vita. And if you're looking at games solely for the Vita,
it's non-existent. Yeah.
Oh,
there's like
they were
3.
so terrible.
Yeah.
They're terrible
bad.
games.
Yeah.
It made no sense.
True. But we've come a long way in video games, and we still have a long ways to go.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I am now on PC. It just works out better for me because I do a lot of other stuff with the computer. But Xbox, I've had every one. I've had every PlayStation. In terms of other like franchises, I mean, Call of Duty has always been there.
Mm-hmm. I've played a lot of Call of Duty.
Yeah, I mean, and that one's it's fun. I mean, it's Call of Duty. I've been playing ever since World at War in 2008. One thing I do miss, to backtrack onto your digital comment earlier, digital is great for convenience reasons, but I really miss physical disc being an only option.
Oh, yeah. Our PlayStation on the living room I have under it is literally just all the boxes of all the discs right there.
So storage-wise, I mean, one, it looks cool to have all those games, right? It's kind of like the Pops here. Like, you have something to look at, and it's not like... Yeah. But in terms of that physical copy, one of my favorite things to do in terms of being a gamer, if you will, it was midnight releases at GameStop.
Yes.
Oh, they're so fun.
Yes.
And some places do it better than others. I've been to one where like nobody talked to anybody. It was literally you wait in line, here's your ticket, you get in and go. People would get there wicked early.
I got this from midnight release when I picked up the first Destiny.
Yeah.
It's a wristband, and they were giving out either a poster or a wristband to everyone who was waiting in line. I was like, I'm going to do the wristband. And I wore this a lot when I first got it. I was like, this is the coolest game. I remember waiting midnight release for it, going straight home and downloading it instantly. Like, I need to play this now. I need to be up there because there's already people who are playing it, and they're so far
and
ahead
they're already,
of me.
yeah, exactly, yeah. Like me and Cameron went to Halo 3 ODST midnight release in 2009, I believe it was, or 10, and or maybe even sooner. But we went to that one, and while we were waiting, GameStop had you know how they have those preview consoles in the lobby, whatever. So they set up 3 of them, and we had 2 controllers each in split screen, so 6 players at a time, and they did a tournament, right? And whoever won got to get their game first of all, and second, they won those big cardboard posters of Halo ODST.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I did not win. Cameron came in second place though.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
So what did he get? Nothing.
He got something.
He got his game second.
Right. I couldn't remember exactly, but I mean, it's like contests like that. Another one I remember was when Call of Duty Black Ops 1 came out. They had the line inside, and they had the preview of zombies, and then on the outside in the parking lot they had a game truck with multiple screens and multiple controllers where you could play LAN against each other, or like versus bots or something. So you get a feel for it. So I'm like playing. I'm like, okay, cool. I like the M16 with this attachment. When I go home and unlock it, that's what I'm using. but it was always a race. Like you get there early, you wait in line, you head home, you book it home, insert that disc, download it, get your Red Bull or whatever, and I always convinced my parents.
You need to get the Red Bull.
And my parents were really cool because I'd be like, hey, there's this new game out, and at the time I was doing my YouTube stuff, and I was like, hey, I really want to play this, and like all my homework's done, and I want to make videos. Can I not go to school tomorrow? And they're like, okay.
What?
Yeah, so almost every release. And then even tracking into like my adult life, when a new game or a new console or a new expansion came out, I would request off of work so I could play it. I mean, games are a waste of time unless you're making money off of it, right? No, games are great.
Experience.
Yeah, it's kind of
like
people
buy alcohol to get messed up. Okay, if I'm buying a game to sit down and enjoy myself, get out of here.
Yeah, so it's really annoying when people are like, "Oh, it's a waste of money. It's ruining your brain."
So what do you do for fun?
Right. Sit in a boat and fish.
Dip.
Alcohol and drugs. Yeah, so video
Race
games have been
cars.
Right, and bet your money, go broke. Video games have been an incredible part of my life, from happiness to time relieving to building relationships and friendships. Like my friend Jaden, we met in a Call of Duty clan in 2009. And then through like being friends online, we would, I got his phone number, we started texting, and at one point we FaceTime, which it was weird, but we got through it, and then we kept being friends. And then my graduation present from my parents was my parents bought me a plane ticket from Beaufort to Salt Lake City to see Jaden in real life for the first time. And then I was there for 2 weeks, and then Utah to California to see my friend David for 2 weeks. So I was gone for a month after I graduated high school.
Hey, Mama Dell, remember that.
Right. And that was a really, it was a surreal, but not in like a super important feeling. Because I'm like, here's this guy I've been playing with and talking to and, becoming friends with over all these years. And now I'm like in person meeting him. 10 years ago, you say, hey, I'm going to fly across the country to meet someone I met online. Sketch.
No, now it's sketch. 10 years ago, it was probably like, oh, okay, whatever. Pen pals were real back in the day. You'd be talking to jail inmates, right? Yeah, that's still a thing. Nowadays, I mean, you think about time. I'm not going to even touch the subject for long. Back in the day, people would knock on your door and they'd be like, oh, let me answer it. I wonder who it could be. Now someone knocks on my door. I'm like, who the hell is
I wasn't expecting this.
People are getting their guns out, looking through the blinds. Like, no, you wouldn't expect stuff like that back in the day to be an issue, let alone, playing a video game to meet somebody.
Sure.
But I think that's one thing. I've had a lot of people I play with. Shout out Dr. Lexus on Destiny 1. He was part of our clan. Got us through everything. I remember my brother, who is also top in our clan in Destiny, asked him why he chose the name Dr. Lexus once. He goes, well, I'm a doctor, and I drive a Lexus. Oh, there we go.
Yeah, and gamer tags was a whole nother topic.
Mine was literally my name.
Yeah.
And my brother's was I am Knox or something like that. So it was Big Knox and Little Knox.
That's funny. Yeah, I spent several hundreds of dollars over the course of my entire gaming existence changing my gamer tag. Because, that was the thing to do. If you join a new clan, you switch your name, or you just want a refresh. You could do it, and I had allowance.
People get paid for it. You had an allowance. Word. Okay. Well, thanks for tuning into this episode of the Paper Bag Club podcast. I'm Richard Knox, and with me always is Aliyes Dell.
Hey,
just shoot out that question of the week again. What is your favorite video game franchise of all time? It could be any platform that's ever come out that you really love, and we're really interested in figuring it out because there's so many games out there, especially over the course of when video games got big in like the 70s or 80s. To this point now where the PS5 is about to release and the Xbox is about to release, and what games are you also excited for coming out, or games that you hope that they make in the future? Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell to get notified anytime we come out with a new video, and we're gonna have the link to our Patreon underneath. And then thanks for joining us.